On a quiet hill overlooking the vast ocean stood a small town called Havenridge. This picturesque place was home to a woman named Lila, whose presence was as enigmatic as the mist that often blanketed the town. Lila was not like the other residents. While most people in Havenridge loved the company of others, flocking to the town square for festivals and gatherings, Lila preferred solitude. She was often seen walking along the cliffs, her long, dark hair flowing with the wind, her eyes searching the horizon as if she were in conversation with the universe itself. Lila owned a quaint bookstore named The Whimsical Shelf, tucked away in an alley that many overlooked. The store was a treasure trove of rare books, poetry collections, and old manuscripts. The smell of aged paper and coffee lingered in the air, creating an ambience that felt both welcoming and mysterious. Those who ventured in often found Lila immersed in a book, her face lit by the soft glow of the shop's vintage lamps. People in Havenridge had mixed opinions about her. Some admired her independence and intellect, while others found her aloof and difficult to understand. "She's different," they'd say, sometimes with admiration, sometimes with disdain. Lila knew what they thought of her, but she didn't care. She often said, "I am not for everyone," and she meant it. One day, a man named Sam arrived in Havenridge. He was a traveling artist, known for painting breathtaking landscapes that captured the essence of places he visited. Sam's arrival caused quite a stir in the town. With his rugged charm and easygoing nature, he quickly became the center of attention. Everyone wanted to be around him, including those who rarely ventured out of their homes. Sam's first encounter with Lila was when he stumbled upon The Whimsical Shelf during a morning walk. Intrigued by the hidden gem, he stepped inside, ringing the little bell above the door. Lila, who was arranging books on a high shelf, turned to look at him. Their eyes met, and for a moment neither spoke. There was something about Sam's demeanor that piqued Lila's interest, though she kept her expression neutral. "I didn't know this place existed," Sam said, breaking the silence. "Most people don't," Lila replied, her voice calm but guarded. Sam spent hours in the bookstore that day, flipping through pages, sketching ideas in his notebook, and occasionally stealing glances at Lila. He tried to strike up a conversation, but her responses were brief, her walls firmly in place. Yet, something about her intrigued him. She was unlike anyone he had ever met. Over the next few weeks, Sam continued to visit the bookstore. He would bring Lila coffee, which she accepted with a polite nod, and share stories of his travels. Lila listened, but she rarely offered anything about herself. She was wary of letting people in, having been hurt too many times in the past by those who tried to mold her into someone she wasn't. One rainy evening, as the shop was about to close, Sam stayed behind. "Why do you keep everyone at arm's length?" he asked, his voice gentle but probing. Lila hesitated, her fingers tracing the edge of a book on the counter. "Because people always want to change what they don't understand," she said. "And I've learned the hard way that I am not for everyone." Sam's heart ached at her words. He saw the loneliness behind her strength, the vulnerability she tried so hard to hide. What if someone doesn't want to change you? He asked softly. Lila looked at him, her eyes searching his face for sincerity. Then that someone would be rare, she said. Sam didn't give up. He kept showing up, not to break down her walls, but to show her that he was willing to meet her where she was. Slowly, Lila began to open up. She told him about her childhood, her love for books, and the heartbreaks that had shaped her. She shared her dreams and fears, her moments of joy and despair. Sam, in turn, shared his own vulnerabilities. He spoke of the pressures he faced as an artist, the fear of being a transient figure in people's lives. Their conversations were raw and honest, and for the first time in years, Lila felt seen, not as a mystery to be solved but as a person to be understood. As months passed, their bond deepened. Sam painted a portrait of Lila, capturing her essence in a way that left her speechless. "This is how I see you," he said, presenting the painting. "Strong, unyielding, and beautifully complex." Tears filled Lila's eyes. For so long, she had believed that her uniqueness was a burden, something that set her apart in a way that isolated her. But in Sam's eyes, she saw it as something to be cherished. "I still stand by what I said," Lila told him one evening as they watched the sunset from the cliffs. "I am not for everyone." Sam smiled, taking her hand in his. "You don't have to be. You're just right for me." Lila's life didn't change overnight, nor did she suddenly become someone who sought validation from others. She remained true to herself, still walking the cliffs alone on some mornings and retreating into her books when she needed space. But now, there was someone who understood her, who didn't try to change her, but instead celebrated her for who she was. Sam stayed in Haven Ridge, setting up a small art studio next to Lila's bookstore. Together, they created a haven for dreamers and misfits, a place where people could be themselves without fear of judgment. And though Lila's mantra remained unchanged, "I am not for everyone," she realized that being understood by just one person could make all the difference.